Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch a high COVID testing facility in Kolkata, Mumbai and Noida today. These facilities will be able to test over 10,000 samples per day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greets CRPF on the force's 82nd raising day. PM commends the force's contribution in nation's security and admired its courage and professionalism. Also wishes the force to achieve greater heights in the coming years. Political heat continues to rise in Rajasthan. BSP issues whip to the MLAs to vote against the Congress in floor test. High Court to hear plea against merger of BSP and Congress MLAs. SC allows Speaker to withdraw plea as the High Court has passed a detailed order. First batch of Rafales for India take off from France today to be inducted and officially join the Indian Air Force in the next 2 days in Ambala in Haryana. And RBI Governor Shashikant Das addresses CII National Council members today, says surplus management a huge challenge, highlights 5 positive shifts in the economy during pandemic. And Centre advises states to ramp up testing, tracking and treating. India conducts record COVID-19 tests for a 3rd consecutive day. Global COVID cases cross over 1 crore 64 lakhs with 6 lakh 52,000 fatalities worldwide. Good afternoon. Welcome to English News. I am Anil Thomas. Now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today launch a new COVID-19 testing facilities via video conferencing. These facilities will ramp up testing capacity in India and help strengthen detection and treatment of the disease. 3 high COVID testing facilities have been set up at the ICMR National Institute of Cancer Prevention and Research Center in Noida, the ICMR National Institute for Research in Reproductive Health at Mumbai, and the ICMR National Institute of Cholera and Ethnic Disease in Kolkata. They will be able to test over 10,000 samples in a single day. These labs will reduce the turnaround time and exposure of the lab personnel to infectious clinical material. That's not all. The labs are enabled to test diseases other than COVID-2. They will be able to test for hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV, Mycobacterium tuberculosis and dengue as well. Well, at this point of time, let's head straight to the BJP headquarters where BJP spokesperson and Rajya Sabha MP GVL Narasimhan is briefing the media.
The Gandhi dynasty and some Congress governments that have ceded India's territory to China and Pakistan, and under the BJP and NDA governments, every inch of India's land is secure. I would like to remind Mr. Rahul Gandhi that this is a reply given in Parliament. I think he must take a look at this. This was given on 23rd November 2012 when the UPA government was in office. This clearly tells you how much of land India had ever surrendered. Pakistan, I'll read this couple of sentences from this. Pakistan has been an illegal and forcible occupation of approximately 78,000 square kilometers of Indian territory, Jammu and Kashmir. The reference is to Aksai Chin. Sorry, the reference is to Pak-occupied Kashmir and also Gilgit-Baltistan area. And China has been an illegal occupation of 38,000 square kilometers of Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir, the then Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. The reference is to Aksai Chin. And in addition, 5,180 square kilometers of land, what belonged to India, was ceded to Pakistan under Sino-Pakistan border agreement of 1963. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi, your family and your party governments have ceded 43,000 square kilometers of Indian land to China, and you have the gumption to utter lies day in and day out. If you have any shame, your party and your leadership, your president must apologize to the people of this country having surrendered India's land. And Rahul Gandhi is claiming that he is willing to let go of his career. He claims that I'm willing to sacrifice my political career and future for the sake of speaking truth. Which political career are you talking about, Mr. Rahul Gandhi? Your career, your political career ended soon after it took off. I think people of this country do not see Rahul Gandhi as any potential leader having any political future. Your political career literally ended in 2019, and you are only now determined to finish the political future of the Congress party, and you are doing that rather very competently. हम देश को कहना चाहेंगे, राहुल गांधी बार बार झूठ बोलकर भारत की सेना के अपमान कर रहे हैं। डोकलाम के बाद, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक्स के बाद, बालाकोट में एयर स्ट्राइक्स के बाद हर बार भारत की सेना ने अपने पराक्रम से भारत को अनेक बार भारत को विजय दिलाई, भारत की सेना ने अपने पराक्रम को दिखाया, लेकिन हर बार राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी भारत की सेना के मनोबल गिराने के लिए, भारत की सेना को अपमान करने के साहस किए हैं। फिर एक बार 20 भारत के सैनिक बलिदान देकर के भारत की सुरक्षा के लिए, भारत के बॉर्डर्स की इंटीग्रिटी के लिए अपने जान देकर के बड़े सैक्रिफाइस दिए हैं। उन सब का अपमान राहुल गांधी बार बार करने की साहस कर रहे हैं। और यदि भारत की भूमि, यदि इसका अधिग्रहण हुआ है, इसका आक्रमण हुआ है, यह गांधी परिवार के सदस्यों के देश में प्रधानमंत्री रहते हुए हुआ है, कांग्रेस पार्टी के सरकारों के दौरान में हुआ है। भारत के एक प्रश्न के जवाब में पार्लियामेंट में 2012 23 नवंबर को मनमोहन सिंह सरकार ने यह जवाब दिया था कि 78,000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर की भारत भूमि पर पाकिस्तान का कब्जा है। यह कब हुआ? ये पंडित नेहरू के ये उनके रहते हुए ये हुआ है, पूरे देश जानती है। और अक्साई चीन के 38,000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर का अधिग्रहण, उस पर कब्जा, अक्साई चीन पर कब्जा चीन का कब हुआ? ये कांग्रेस पार्टी और उनके परिवार बहुत अच्छी तरह जानती है। तो इसके अलावा 5,180 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर का भारत की जो भूमि थी जिस पर पाकिस्तान ने कब्जा बनाया, उसमें 5,180 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर चीन ने उनसे हासिल किया है 1963 में। ये आपका परिवार का इतिहास है। तो राहुल गांधी, आप जितने भी झूठ बोलेंगे, आपकी जो परिवार पर जो कलंक है वो नहीं मिट सकता है। और 640 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर की लैंड मनमोहन सिंह जी के प्रधानमंत्री रहते हुए 2013 में 640 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर की लैंड पर चीन ने अतिक्रमण किया है। यह उस समय के तत्कालीन नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एस्टैब्लिशमेंट बोर्ड के श्याम सरन जी ने कहा था, पूर्व विदेश सचिव। तो इसलिए भारत के चीन के सामने, पाकिस्तान के सामने घुटने टेकने वाले पार्टी हमें कोई नसीहत न दे। भारत के सार्वभौमता प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में सुरक्षित है। हर इंच भारत की भूमि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में सुरक्षित है। भारत के सेना का अपमान करना राहुल गांधी छोड़ दें। आप अपने राजनीतिक करियर को लेकर जो बयान दिया है यह हास्यास्पद है, क्योंकि राहुल गांधी की करियर बहुत पहले खत्म हो चुका है। 2019 में ही आपका राजनीतिक एक तरह से एक राजनीतिक सनसेट हो गया है, और आप केवल और कांग्रेस पार्टी को भविष्य को खत्म करने की एक बहुत अच्छे लक्ष्य लेकर आगे चल रहे हैं और इसके अलावा राहुल गांधी को हम बहुत गंभीरता से नहीं लेने वाले हैं। धन्यवाद।
Well, live visuals there of the BJP press conference there, point by point rebuttal to Rahul Gandhi's video there on Chinese occupying Indian land. Rahul Gandhi in his video had stated that he doesn't care by stating the truth on China. If it costs his political career too, it doesn't matter, and he's going to state facts as they are. BJP there coming out strongly defending the arguments that Rahul Gandhi said. He said Rahul Gandhi time and again has been insulting the morale of the forces. That's not all. 640 square kilometers of land was lost under the Manmohan Singh's rule during the UPA to China. Also, every inch of Indian soil is very much safe under the Narendra Modi rule. And finally, Rahul Gandhi's political career, he made a comment that Rahul's political career was over way back in 2019, and the BJP does not take him seriously. So strong comments there, point by point rebuttal by the BJP spokesperson GVL Narasimhan. Moving on. The 82nd Central Reserve Police Force Racing Day is being celebrated today. The CRPF came into existence as Crown Representatives Police on July 27, 1939. It became the Central Reserve Police Force on the enactment of the CRPF Act on December 28, 1949. CRPF has the mandate to secure internal security scenario of the country. Besides being the peacekeepers of the nation, CRPF has also been playing a prominent role in fighting COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings to the Central Reserve Police Force, or the CRPF, on its 82nd Racing Day today. The Prime Minister in a tweet said, and I quote, "CRPF is at the forefront of keeping our nation safe. The courage and professionalism of this force are widely admired. May the CRPF achieve even greater heights in the coming years." Extending greetings on CRPF's Racing Day, Home Minister Amit Shah said CRPF is synonymous with valor, courage and sacrifice. Time and again, CRPF has made the nation proud. Their dedication to serve the society during COVID-19 is unparalleled. Moving to some good news coming in. The first 5 Rafale fighter jets today took off from France to reach India on the 29th of July. The 5 Rafales, piloted by Indian Air Force pilots, were seen off by the Indian ambassador to France, Javed Ashraf, who had earlier interacted with the pilots and crew and wished them a safe journey. These Rafales will cover a distance of 7,000 kilometers from France to the Ambala Air Force Base in India. There will be a brief stopover in UAE, and the 5 supersonic jets will be refueled mid-air too. In Ambala, they will be operationalized on the 29th of July in the 17th Squadron. Rafale is a medium multi-role combat aircraft that provides impetus to India's air dominance exponentially.
In Bordeaux for the takeoff of 5 Rafale jets that are flying to India today. Our Air Force pilots tell us that these are extremely swift, nimble, versatile, and very deadly aircraft. You might call them, they are both beauty and beast. They are superb flying machines being flown by the best pilots in the world. We'd like to thank Dassault for delivering the aircraft on time, the French Air Force and the French government for all the support they've provided. This is going to add a great deal of strength to our air power and defense preparedness, but it is also a powerful symbol of the strategic partnership between India and France. So our pilots I've just spoken to them, they are very excited. They are very proud to be flying these machines to India today. It's going to be a long flight, and it is a remarkable symbol of their professionalism, their endurance, and the skills that they have acquired during the training, that they'll be able to do this with mid-air refueling and just a single stop en route to India, which is actually quite a long distance. We have bid them safe landing in India, smooth flight on the way, and a great service to the cause of India's defense and security. They play a very important role in that. So we look forward to seeing their induction in India in the next couple of days.
Well, listening into Javed Ashraf, the Indian ambassador to France, there speaking about this particular 5 jets, supersonic jets that fly to India. Nandita Daga, our correspondent who's been tracking that particular Rafale story for us, joining us with more inputs on that story. And Nandita, good afternoon. The ambassador there clearly saying that it's nimble, it's versatile, it adds more teeth to our air dominance. How do you look at this particular 5 jets, supersonic jets joining our forces, and how does it enhance or how does it increase our dominance, especially when it comes to the Indian Air Force and the forces at large?
Yes, Anil, our war preparedness or operational readiness increases manifold because of these Rafales, because these Rafales are armed with missiles such as Meteor and Scalp. Meteor are missiles which are beyond visual range missiles, which means that they can target an enemy beyond a range of 300 kilometers. And the Scalp missiles are the ones which are air-to-ground missiles. So the fighter pilot sitting in the cockpit can actually, it's a bust bunkers, tanks, and they can actually obliterate them. Therefore, and secondly, none of our neighbors or our adversaries have an aircraft of the capability of a Rafale.
Okay.
Number 3, Anil, this fighter jet has an engine. The Rafale manufactured by Dassault has an engine which is capable of taking off from altitudes as high as Leh, which means for various, we have about 3 or 4 air bases in Ladakh, which are very, with the atmosphere is not dense there, it is very thin, and the altitude is high. Even there it can take off.
Okay.
So very few countries in the world have capability like this.
Okay.
Yes,
Nandita, now coming to something specific, all the 5 aircrafts that have been dispatched from France, are they all twin-seaters? And secondly, since if air-to-air refueling is possible, why does this particular Rafale aircraft need a stopover in UAE?
Yes, good question, Anil. These aircrafts, just like all modern aircrafts, are capable of mid-air refueling, which means they do not need to land and turn off their engines to be fed with fuel. They are in fact being refueled mid-air in this trip of 7,000 kilometers from Mérignac in France to Ambala in India. Also, they will be having a stopover in UAE because of the time zone difference and the toll that the change in time zones and the speed at which they are flying, the supersonic speeds that these fighter jets are flying. These pilots will be rested and recoup. They will rest and recoup at UAE. You asked about twin-seaters. No, they are single-seaters. It's only the trainer version which will be a twin-seater. As you said, to put a little bit of perspective, in 2015, Prime Minister Modi took out of the box decision which people called a master stroke when he sensing that India's squadron strength is depleting, and the MMRCA project was stuck for more than a decade under the UPA. He decided with his French counterpart, at that point of time it was François Hollande, the French president, to buy 36 Rafales off the shelf. In 2016, when Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar, he was the defense minister, he was leading the negotiations. We signed a contract with France and Dassault. And then last year, Anil, if you remember, on Dussehra, it was a very auspicious day because it was also the Air Force Day that day, and our defense minister had gone to Mérignac and flown up aboard a Rafale. It was formally handed over to our defense minister, and today they took off the 5 of them. And as our ambassador to France, Mr. Javed Ashraf, he's summed it up very beautifully. It's beauty and the beast. It's beauty and the marvelous machine that it is, and it's beast for the enemies. To my knowledge, only India is only the 3rd country that is flying the Rafales after France, and it has been sold to Qatar as well as Egypt.
Okay,
So,
we'll leave it there.
few
Thank you and
countries
appreciate you joining us with those inputs there. The first batch of 5 Rafale jets now leaving France for India. They will be hitting the Ambala Air Base in Haryana on the 29th, that's Wednesday, and we'll wait and watch for more inputs on that particular story. You've got a busy week ahead. Nandita, thank you and appreciate you joining us once again with those inputs. Moving now to Rajasthan. The Supreme Court today allowed the Rajasthan Assembly Speaker C.S. Joshi to withdraw his appeal against the High Court's order asking him to defer till July 24 the disqualification proceedings against Sachin Pilot and 18 Congress MLAs. Senior advocate Kapil Sipal, appearing for the Speaker, told the Apex Court that the Rajasthan High Court had passed a fresh order on Friday and they were weighing their legal options. The High Court had ordered on Friday maintenance of status quo on the disqualification notice issued by the Speaker C.P. Joshi there to the 19 dissident Congress MLAs, including Sachin Pilot. Meanwhile, the Rajasthan High Court will today hear a petition filed by the BJP MLA Madan Dilawar. The BJP MLA challenged the merger of 6 BSP MLAs with the Congress party in September last year. In another development, Rajasthan Governor Kalraj Mishra returned to the Ashok Gehlot-led government a cabinet note seeking an assembly session and sought additional information. This is the second time that the governor has returned the proposal and sought clarification from the state government. The cabinet had sent a revised proposal to the governor for calling the assembly session from July 31st, that's this coming Saturday, a day after he returned the government's first proposal. Earlier, the Bahujan Samaj Party had issued a whip to 6 Rajasthan Assembly MLAs who had announced a merger with the ruling Congress party last year to vote against the Ashok Gehlot government in any proceedings of the House, including the no confidence motion. A signed communique by the BSP General Secretary on July 26 says that all the 6 Rajasthan MLAs that were elected on the election symbol of BSP issued by the National President Mayawati are bound by a party whip to vote against the Congress government in the state. According to the statement, BSP is also planning to join the proceedings in the High Court challenging the legality of the merger. Well, the Defence Minister of Indonesia held a delegation-level talks today with the Defence Minister of India, Rajnath Singh. The Defence Minister of Indonesia is on a 3-day-long visit to India. During this particular meeting, both the leaders discussed bilateral issues and stressed on enhancing the defence cooperation between India and Indonesia. Earlier in the day, he visited the National War Memorial and paid homage to the martyrs. Later, Defence Minister Subianto will also be accorded with the Guard of Honour in South Block. Time now for COVID-19 updates from across the country. The total recoveries from COVID-19 today surpassed the 9 lakh mark. With this, the recovery rate stands at 63.92% in the country. The case fatality rate has further declined to 2.28%. According to the Health and Family Welfare Ministry, a total of 9,17,567 people have recovered in India so far. Presently, the total number of active COVID cases in the country is 4,85,114. India achieved a remarkable feat today by performing more than 5 lakh tests of COVID-19 samples in one single day or in 24 hours. Indian Council of Medical Research said that a record of 5,15,472 tests of COVID virus samples were conducted by the various laboratories in the last 24 hours. More than 1,68 lakh tests have been conducted in the country so far. Starting from less than 100 tests per day, a multiple-fold increase in the few months was made possible by dedicated teams of research institutions, medical colleges, testing laboratories, ministries, airlines and postal services. Meanwhile, the union government has also advised states to ramp up aggressive testing, tracking and treatment strategy. In the last 24 hours, 5,15,472 samples were tested. The total tests conducted still now stand at 1,68,06,803 samples. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of news. Thanks for watching, but do not forget to maintain social distancing. Also, whenever possible, wash your hands. If not, use a sanitizer to clean your hands, and do not forget to wear your mask. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.